So spake he, and the minstrel, being stirred by the god, began and showed forth his minstrelsy. He took up the tale where it tells how the Argives of one part set fire to their huts, and went aboard their decked ships and sailed away, while those others, the fellowship of renowned Odysseus, were now seated in the assembly place of the Trojans, all hidden in the horse, for the Trojans themselves had dragged him to the citadel. So the horse stood there, while seated all around him the people spake many things confusedly, and three ways their counsel looked, either to cleave the hollow timber with their pitiless spear, or to drag it to the brow of the hill, and hurl it from the rocks, or to leave it as a mighty offering to appease the gods. And on this wise it was to be at the last, for the doom was on them to perish when their city should have closed upon the great horse of wood, wherein sat all the bravest of the Argives, bearing to the Trojans death and destiny. And he sang how the sons of the Achaeans poured forth from the horse, and left the hollow lair, and sacked the burg. And he sang how and where each man wasted the town, and of Odysseus, how he went like Ares to the house of Deiphobus with godlike Menelaus. It was there, he said, that Odysseus adventured the most grievous battle, and in the end prevailed, by grace of great-hearted Athena. Okay, so Athena just really has a thing for Odysseus. She's following him around his whole life, it seems like. Maybe not. Maybe he picked her up in Troy. I wanna dive into our big prestige blockbuster or prestige TV show, because I was struck with a way of how we visualize this. I can see a way of like deepening the psychology of Odysseus to viewers, if we are watching this, not listening to it, where after everything that's happened in this book, in book 8, the challenge, the PTSD moment, the joy at the festivities, the bathing and being restored. In this moment, Odysseus asks Demodocus to play a song of the Trojan horse, and you can kind of envision, okay, Odysseus sits back in his seat and watches the minstrel begin to pluck his song, and all of the hubbub of the surroundings, everyone that's in this palace, drinking wine, making merry, and listening to the minstrel. I can see the audio track of that dying down till it's completely silent, and all we hear is just the minstrel playing the song, and we push in just on Odysseus's face as it transitions from making merry to being brought right back to the moment of the Trojan horse episode. We show in flashback some of the moments of sitting inside the belly of the horse while all the Trojans are surrounding it, deciding what to do. We cut back to Odysseus's face as he's sitting listening to the minstrel. The hard lines of his face start to deepen, and we see that he is right back in this moment. Then the death, the destruction, and we juxtapose this song of glory that everyone in the palace is appreciating on an entertainment and spectacle level. But for Odysseus, it's a moment of pain. It's a moment of pride, of conquer, of loss. It represents the best and the worst, and is reflective of how long it's been since he's been home, what he's had to give up, sacrifice, what he's given to the war. We flash back to the Achaeans sacking the burg, setting fire to things, wasting the town. And we cut back, silent. We see everyone rejoicing and laughing and embracing the story the minstrel sang. We don't hear anything. It's silent on the soundtrack for them. Just the sound of the words of the minstrel and the plucking of his lyre and the face of Odysseus reflecting on all of this. Now, there's no evidence in this passage that that's what's happening with Odysseus, but I think there's enough dots to connect an interpretation of that. Why would Odysseus request the Trojan horse episode? Particularly if the Song of Achilles earlier in this book triggered him so heavily. It's a sort of safe space for him to start to confront the horrors of his past. I mean, if he believes them to be, maybe he is completely prideful of all he's accomplished in the destruction of Troy. And who do we cast as Demodocus in this. I mean, if we're choosing out of time, not particularly who they are now and the age that they're currently at, I could see like a 1980s Tom Waits playing Demodocus. Could we get a young Bob Dylan? Well, with only one episode left of Book 8, I don't know that Odysseus is going to get on this dang old ship and go home. I guess we have to wait till tomorrow and find out. But since it's the penultimate episode of the book, I have to talk about the Patreon, and I haven't done it enough these last couple weeks. I should have, but I'm hoping that the short ad at the beginning of this episode during the supporter month will be enough to let you know that at patreon.com/gruntworkpod, the podcast network that hosts Odyssey, we are in the midst of supporter month. What that means for you listening now, day to day as these episodes come out, is that during the month of May, you can sign up for free. You don't have to contribute anything, and we are giving you access to everything we've ever done on the podcast network. That's 9 years of content, absolutely free. That also means that we are giving you new bonus content as an appreciation for everyone who shows up here day after day. We deeply appreciate it. You can go and listen to a mini series I put together, pulling from the official sources of places like Plutarch, Ovid, Apollodorus, in order to tell the life of Theseus as a sort of companion to our episode on Immortals, which I believe you have already listened to. All of that and more exists over at patreon.com/gruntworkpod for free. Of course, if you want to contribute, we definitely appreciate that. We have a net zero goal for this network, which means we don't necessarily want to make money off of it. We just want it to start to pay for itself. I will have to check where we are by the end of supporter month, but going into it, we were about halfway to our goal. So even if you can contribute $1 per month, that goes a long way to help paying the costs for hosting and a number of other things. And if you want to know what you get for that dollar, in addition to bringing the show on the air, check out all of the awesome bonus content that exists over at patreon.com/gruntworkpod, both now and what you have to look forward to in the future. Of course, you can always rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, leave us a comment, subscribe on YouTube, and tell people about the show by sending them the YouTube channel, the website, or an episode if you think that they might be into what we're doing here day in and day out. And of course, as always, I am super thankful that you are all here and that you all show up. I am absolutely shocked and grateful for the success the show has had so far, and I know we can grow it even further. So join me here tomorrow as we close out Book 8. Until then, okay, goodbye. Odyssey is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. The show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Odyssey, written by Homer. Theme song by Neuroflow. You can support this show and other shows like it by going to patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.